proverb, I am because we are, is the foundation of the ACBN YouTube channel. Tap in for all of our remarkable content and ecosystem mobilization through the phenomenal practitioners and thought leaders we engage on this channel. In the words of Adrienne Marie Brown, things are not getting worse, they are getting uncovered. We must hold each other tight to pull back the veil. Get ready for another amazing ACBN powered interview.
I want to thank you for being here and just have you introduce yourself to our viewers and listeners.
Thank you, Blessed. So my name is Alfred Burgesson, and I'm the founder CEO of Tribe Network. I'm originally from Ghana, and I'm now living in Canada, in Halifax specifically. Tribe Network is a not-for-profit that essentially supports racialized entrepreneurs in getting access to resources, networks, and opportunities in the entrepreneurship and innovation ecosystem in Canada.
Thank you. Really appreciate it. So tell us about the origin of the Tribe Network and how are you guys disrupting multiple ecosystems here in Canada?
Yeah, great question. So Tribe really is something that came from my lived experience trying to navigate the existing ecosystem. In 2016, I walked into an innovation hub, a publicly funded innovation hub. So, tax dollars that we pay go into setting up innovation hubs across the country. I walked into one of these spaces and I didn't see any of us in there. I didn't see us from a membership standpoint. I didn't see us from a team standpoint. The team of the innovation hub was not diverse. Their coaches and mentors were not diverse. And I stuck around for about 3 months, but it's hard to feel like you belong in a space when you don't see yourself. And so I left and I went on to do my own thing and essentially go forward to find my tribe, find my people, and find the people that would value me for who I am. And so I would say that the story of Tribe really began then in 2016. And it took until COVID and the pandemic to say, this is needed badly, which is how can we create a community of Black, Indigenous, racialized people that can support each other on this entrepreneurship journey. It's not easy. Being an entrepreneur is not easy. It's very difficult. And when you have a community of people you can work with, it makes it a little bit easier. And so we decided to launch Tribe during the pandemic as a platform that would bring in racialized community members on one end, and then the other end, we would partner with the existing innovation entrepreneurship ecosystem to ensure that they could actually provide supports, information to our community. And so the same innovation hub that I walked into that I didn't feel like I belonged in that space, I had a meeting with their CEO and I said, can you tell me about this problem? It seems as though you've struggled to be diverse and inclusive in the way you operate and in your membership. And the comment that I got back was, well, we don't know where to find these people. We don't know where to find them. And we don't have strong relationships with the community. And so Tribe really became a place where innovation hubs, accelerators, incubators, entrepreneurship programs could actually find our community. And we created a space where our community could engage with each other, support each other, mentor each other, coach each other along that journey.
That's amazing. I love that because it's you identified the problem, you created the solution, but you went back to the source and they kind of acknowledged that they needed that. They needed you to highlight these people in the community. And you know what? There's probably been 1,000 people that walked into that space before you that felt the same way as you, but they just go away frustrated, right?
Exactly. And by providing a solution, the solution isn't that we can no longer engage with these innovation hubs. It's that we can, and we can do it together. You know what I mean? There's more than one person now that's engaging with them. There's more of us. And so if anything does go wrong, or if people feel like they've been slighted in any way, at least the community is there to support them and help them through that.
I think it's so necessary on both sides. Like you said, coming together, creating that Tribe Network, which is a profound name as well, because it is, we always talk about finding our tribe. So it's a necessary network. And then you guys coming together also, like you said, allows you to go into spaces and be heard. I love that. So can you let us know exactly what Tribe Network's like mission and vision is so we can understand the core of who you are?
Absolutely. So, I mean, I'll start by saying our purpose is that we believe in the power of community. And so, you know, we don't want anyone going alone. We want to go together. We want to support people that are on their journey in entrepreneurship by creating this strong community. Our mission is to foster a culture of leadership, collaboration, creativity, and growth amongst our racialized members. And truly, the mission is to advance entrepreneurship and innovation by providing our members with access to the relevant resources and support where they can connect, work, and learn on their journey. And our vision is to be at the forefront of entrepreneurship and innovation. Okay, so we want to ensure that our members are at the front and that we are leading edge. We're creating tools and companies, and we're creating things that are helping change the world, and we're at the forefront. We're not catching up, but we're at the forefront. That is our vision, is to be there. And from a more organizational perspective, we're established in Canada. In the next 10 years, we do want to expand globally. And I think at an organizational goal for me is to have a self-sustainable organization, in that we don't have to rely on government funding to operate. You know, to me, success would be creating this community that is at the forefront of entrepreneurship and innovation, and we're self-sustainable in that we can fund our own programs. We have enough resources that we can do what we want to do. We don't have to go to government. We don't have to go to a foundation for capital. Right now, we have to do that because we don't have the resources. But in 10 years, at an organizational level, the goal would be to definitely be self-sustainable.
I love that. I think that's something we talk about in our community a lot. We often compare our community to others and say, why can't we? Why don't we? Why aren't we? And so I feel like this is the fundamental steps to, like you said, right now we need the financial support, but one day it'll be all in-house, right?
Exactly.
So I love that for your vision. And so because you are like talking about being at the front, I mean, it sounds like you're attracting and creating the cream of the crop. So the Tribe Network is where the elite exists. Is there any focus on youth, or what is the age that you would say is the biggest part of your network?
Yeah, so first I'd say we don't have a specific age group that we target, but based off the composition of our team, we're a young team. Our average age on our team is like 28 or 30, something like that, between 28 and 30. So I think naturally we kind of attract a younger cohort of individuals because of the marketing content that we design. But we don't limit any of our programming to just youth.
Okay. But youth are welcome. I guess that was more,
absolutely.
I guess that was more the question, is like, is it a place for young people? I love that. So I think it's great coming out of school or while you're still studying to have a space like this. So really appreciate that. What do you think inspires you most about your current model at the Tribe Network?
What inspires me the most about our current model? I think from the jump, we are thinking about where we want to be in 10 years. And from the jump, we're thinking about being self-sustainable. You know what I mean? Like a lot of times, I think I've seen organizations start and be comfortable with the idea of being dependent on external funding.
Right.
I think what makes us unique is that from day one, we said, we don't want to be dependent on government funding long term. We want to build an ecosystem. We want to build something that has its cycle and something that can be self-sustainable. So I do think we are uniquely positioned to do that. We have our entrepreneurship programs that allow us to identify talent, coach talent, to fund talent in that sort of small grant funding, anywhere from 500 to 5,000 range. Now through that, we're developing a pipeline of talent, right?
Right.
And I think the thing that we are about to do, which we're excited to talk to you about today, is to create our own venture fund. That's a part of the Tribe ecosystem that would allow us to not just support talent with the mentorship, coaching, and grant funding, but to actually support them with equity investments as well,
Wow.
to give them longer runway. So, rather than $5,000, maybe it's $250, and then with that $250 is an introduction to another investor that can come in at $250. So we're really trying to think about the journey of an entrepreneur and meet people at the different stages and ensure that we can support them go from 0 to 1.
I love that. That's really effective. I know you touched on the original issue as to what started the Tribe Network. But do you feel that there's any other challenges or barriers that you guys are still facing? And like, how is your team overcoming that?
Yeah, good question. So I think when I mentioned earlier about my experience with that innovation hub, like I simply talked about the space and the lack of representation in that space. But we have to realize that in those spaces is information and knowledge and capital that our communities typically don't get access to, right? And so Tribe exists to share that knowledge, share that information, share that access to capital. For our team, I think, we just had a planning session last week, and an internal team retreat. And there was one thing that came out that can be seen as a negative, but I love it. And it was, we are underestimated. We are underestimated. People like what we do and people think we're cool, but like, you know what I mean? Like we have a lot that we're going to do. And a lot of impact that we are already having and that we're going to continue to have. And I think sometimes people underestimate us, but honestly, that's just fuel to the fire.
Well, what kind of priorities are you guys working on right now? I know you said there's something you want to talk about later, so let us know what you guys are focused on now.
Yeah, so right now we're focused on the Black Startup Project. We've been funded by the federal government, ISED and ACOA, to support Black entrepreneurs in Atlantic Canada, specifically with programming that I outlined earlier in terms of workshops, training sessions, coaches, mentors, consultant advisory services, some capital for that. What we're excited to go into next is the VC side of things and to establish an early stage fund for racialized entrepreneurs. So people who are members of the Tribe Network. We're developing a early stage fund that will invest equity into those entrepreneurs. Yeah,
I love that. And there's a lot of up and coming, brands and organizations that are sort of highlighting newcomers to the stage. I know there's going to be a pitch competition, I think later in the summer for young entrepreneurs. So I love that you're creating that space where, we do have that once again within our community. That's amazing. So how do you feel about the future of impact investing in venture capital in Canada? Obviously, it's something passionate to you if you've started this next venture.
Yeah, I mean, I think we still have gaps in the ecosystem for sure. In the last few years, we've seen the government support the community in setting up the loan fund. And I believe over, a lot of millions of dollars have gone into establishing a loan fund that the Federation of African Canadian Economics is leading. A great organization. Tiffany Callender is an exceptional leader, Black leader in Canada, and someone that I look up to. And she's doing an amazing job of standing up this loan fund in the matter of just a couple of years. So we have the loan fund infrastructure that's being developed. We've got money that's going to not-for-profit groups to support the work that we do, like the workshops, training, capacity building activities. In my mind, the piece that is missing comes down to investing capital directly to the hands of entrepreneurs. And the VC side of things is the part that isn't mature yet in Canada for our community. We have Brother Isaac that's leading BKR Capital. Brother Isaac and Lise are leading BKR and doing an incredible job of that. But right now, it seems as though they're the only that's been established and that is actually giving out funding and money to entrepreneurs. So I think if there's a gap right now, it's definitely going to be around how do we ensure that there's more venture capital dollars going to our community. Where Black founders get less than 1% of venture dollars, but at the same time, the math was telling us that diverse teams can make 3 times more with what they're given as opposed to non-diverse teams. So something ain't adding up. The math isn't mathing, and we need to do a better job of advancing Black generational wealth. We need to think about we need to think about how do we make investments that can lead to generational wealth and not just these sort of band-aid solutions. And so when I think about what we're trying to do with Tribe Ventures, this is a fund that will support racialized entrepreneurs. And, it won't just advance social equity, but this will actually uncover opportunities for very robust returns on investment. And so, I think we need to keep that in mind, that this isn't charity. This is an opportunity to, for us to be a catalyst for innovation and drive really great investment performance as well.
I love that. I think that everybody that I've heard speak in the VC space in Canada says it's really underdeveloped here. For everyone, general public, but especially, of course, our community. So I love that you've taken on that mantle and you're doing something about it. What is your ultimate goal for the Tribe Network? What does success look like for you and your colleagues?
Yeah, great question. So as I mentioned earlier, I will be satisfied in 10 years knowing that we've built something that is global and self-sustainable. In order for us to do that, we have to ensure that, I'm in the mindset that we're not just building one organization. We're not just building a program. We are helping build an ecosystem. You know what I mean? And we have to approach it in the mindset of okay, we're building our ecosystem, and this ecosystem will complement other ecosystems and the existing ecosystem, which is that hasn't always been friendly to us. You know what I mean? And so success for me is we build really great programs, products, companies. We build our ecosystem to be global and self-sustainable. That's what success looks like to me.
Absolutely. I love it. And I think that a lot of people would be in agreement with that. I think you can't argue that. And you're taking the necessary steps. I think all of this, the work that you do is so very important, both the ecosystem and, disrupting existing ecosystems. Do you have any closing thoughts that you like to share? Anything that you want people to know? And of course, let them know how to find you, how to support, how to join.
Thank you. Yeah. So we are, as I mentioned earlier, we're launching Tribe Ventures, and Tribe Ventures is a pre-seed and seed stage inclusive fund dedicated to investing in racialized and underrepresented founders that are building high growth technology enabled companies. We're looking for investors. And so if there's someone who's watching this that's, cares about supporting racialized founders and teams develop really great products and companies in this world that solve global challenges and global problems, do reach out. And I want to maybe share a little bit more about the market that we're working in, just so that folks who are watching this that are wondering whether it's a good fit or not. We're focused in investing about 80 to 85% of our money in Canada. Our goal is to raise a $20 million fund. And the majority of the investments will happen in Canada, but we're also looking at allocating 15 to 10% of our outside of Canada to the region of Africa. We've developed a strategy that will allow us to focus pre-seed in Canada and seed stage in Africa, with returns of 3x, is kind of the baseline model that we've created. And so, if there's anyone watching this that is keen to support the development of our racialized and Black venture ecosystem, feel free to reach out to me at alfred@tribenetwork.ca. We do really great work. We have an incredible team of young people that are that have the energy and capacity to do incredible things for our members. And so if there's anyone who's watching this that's wanting to get involved or be a part of enabling us to do the work that we do, reach out to me at alfred@tribenetwork.ca, and we would love to partner and to explore what opportunities exist.
So do you normally just meet with people for that kind of opportunity, like one-on-one basis? You have an onboarding process, or do you have like an open night where you like come and you explain this offer and you invite people? Like, how do you typically attract kids?
Right now it's on a one-on-one basis. We host workshops and events that are topic specific, for whether it's things around legal or finance, marketing, privacy. So we host events and things like that for groups of people. But right now, in terms of dealing with potential partners and stakeholders, it is through one-on-one. But you're making me think about, maybe we need to do something special, whether it's once a month, once every other month, that allows.
I think so. A campaign around it where you were just letting them know this is what we're going to talk about tonight. And then I feel like in that kind of space, you can really take it from beginning to end and really, share the full vision. And I think if you do that over and over, even if it's not monthly, if it's quarterly, it just gets the conversation going, right? And next thing you know, there's buzz. Thank you for answering all the questions. I thought it was great. I really appreciate you taking the time and sharing, and like I said, the work that you're doing. So thank you for your remarkable leadership. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.